I'd like to call this meeting to order, please. Meeting July 25th, 2016, the Owen J. Roberts Board of School Directors, regular business meeting. Please rise for the pledge and then a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. Please join us in a moment of silence as we reflect on those serving in the United States Armed Forces, both past and present, the elected leaders for the state of Pennsylvania and elected leaders of our nation. We have much to be thankful for in our community. Please be seated. Item 3.1, executive session announcement. We had 2 executive sessions, July 25th this evening. It was a school board workshop, 5 o'clock in the high school library. And then also at 6:15, an executive session also in the high school library to discuss legal matters. Item 4.1, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Christian.
Thank you, Mrs. Wolf. Although it is summer, the campus is active. We are offering currently 26 enrichment activities and 9 accelerated coursework classes. We have 348 students participating in various themed camps, including art, sports, fishing, robotics, engineering, healthy living, and science. 2 of the more popular camps are the Fine Arts Camp with 60 students and our fishing camp with nearly 70 students. 58 students are participating in math, science, and health accelerated coursework, and an additional 42 are enrolled in the online health and driver's ed sessions. In total, we have 448 students taking advantage of all these offerings. Additionally, the district offers an extended school year program for our special education students in need. We're offering that to nearly 175 students, and that's to help prevent regression over the summer as we will return to academic classes at the end of August. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Christian. Item 5.1, public comment on agenda items. Information, proposals, and statements from individuals or delegations pertaining to items on the agenda. Speakers are to indicate your name, township of residence, and item or items on the agenda to which your comments are addressed. Speakers will be limited to not more than 3 minutes. Are there any public comments on the agenda? Okay. Item 6, Board Committee Report. 6.1, Buildings and Grounds. Mrs. Booth.
Good evening. The last Buildings and Grounds meeting met Monday, June 13th at the West Vincent Elementary School. I'll quickly review that meeting since it's been a while since everybody met. Marietta, Maine was in attendance, and the agenda items were as follows. East Vincent Facilities Improvement Project was reviewed and discussed. Project was updated. Construction change orders and construction project cost summary was presented. The East Coventry Facilities Improvement Project, at that time, when the meeting was held, this project was in a holding pattern. 2016 Summer Facilities Maintenance Projects were presented by Mrs. Crumrine and Mr. Mike Shelgren. The schedules and issues were outlined, discussed, and described. We had several items that were approved on the agenda at the time. As an update following that meeting, since it's at least 6 weeks later, 5 weeks later, we do have some movement. The summer projects are ongoing and or complete in preparation for the 2016-2017 school year, including repair work completion to North Coventry Elementary School facilities foundation slab. That was insurance covered. High school storm damage roof repair. Insurance claim coverage. Project is out to bid. Work anticipated in September or October of 2016. We have a West Vincent Elementary School facility sprinkler failure that the district will repair those as maintenance issues occur and are needed to be revised. The East Vincent facility upgrade project, as I keep people updated, it's going up. It looks great. Windows installation is ongoing. Masonry is in place, and we are on time. Administration does an admirable job posting daily progress photos online to anybody in attendance. Please take a few moments to review. We are in the process of finalizing East Vincent furniture, fixtures, and equipment purchase, as well as technology and maintenance requirements. As a note, needed furniture is to be purchased. Usable existing facility items and elements will be utilized. We are going through transition planning. We have a couple auctions planned for items that we hold at the moment. East Vincent auction will be held quickly because it will go into demolition as soon as the construction is completed, and one will be located at the East Coventry Elementary School as that project goes forward. As a note, on Wednesday evening, July 20th, we received conditional final approval from the Planning Commission. I know that sounds to be an oxymoron, but the approvals remain conditional until receipt of outside agency approvals. We have not heard anything further on those. The district will be on the agenda August 8th at the East Coventry Board of Supervisors meeting, requesting conditional final approval from the supervisors. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mrs. Booth. 6.2, Chester County Intermediate Unit, Mrs. Barkus.
The Chester County Intermediate Unit Board of Directors held its monthly meeting on July 20th, 2016 at the Educational Service Center in Downingtown. The following items were discussed. We went ahead with our reorganization of the IU board. We approved all of the meeting dates and places, locations for 2016-17. We approved the 16-17 IU goals. We had a presentation with regards to a 15-16 goal, which was data analysis and reporting. So they had one of their goals on how they would best gather data from all the school districts and IU so that it could be reported out to districts for our use. And we also had a presentation about how the IU has become how the program has expanded using iPads. We approved an agreement with the Coatesville Area School District to provide custodial services for the next 3 years, beginning July 16th. And our next meeting will be held Wednesday, September 21st at 7:30 at the Gordon Early Literacy Center in Coatesville. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mrs. Barkus. Item 6.3, Curriculum and Instruction, Mr. Lakoff.
Thank you, Madam President. The curriculum department staff has been busy with teachers and students throughout the summer. Over 400 students are enrolled in enrichment camps and academic classes during the summer months. The recreation camps include fishing, art camp, team sports, cooking, and dinosaur camp. Academic classes concluded last week, and some students are now preparing for the summer administration of the Keystone examinations. Groups of teachers have been on campus to work on a variety of curriculum projects. Dr. Lehman met with several high school science teachers to design the biotechnology, ecology, and principles of engineering classes. Dr. Monahan has been working with the academic coaches and elementary teachers to add more reading units of study for intermediate grades. Mr. Fletcher has met with elementary teachers to revise everyday math assessment cover sheets and incorporate additional practice work. In addition to curriculum projects, several teachers have attended advanced placement trainings and international baccalaureate workshops. In the past few weeks, our school district received some of the student testing data. A full report of assessment results will be presented at the October Committee of the Whole. By that time, all expected data and SPP scores should be available for review. At this time, PDE has started the data verification process with school districts, and our district has participated in that process. Next month, Jumpstart will begin for invited students, and Kinder Camp will take place in each elementary school. As well, the curriculum supervisors are planning for the orientation week of induction for new teachers and professional development sessions for all returning teachers. The next curriculum committee meeting is scheduled as part of the Committee of the Whole. The meeting will be on September 12th. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Lakoff. Item 6.4, Finance, Mr. Freeze.
There's no report at this time, just
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Freeze. Okay, there is no L&P report, so we'll go to 6.6, Personnel Committee. No report from Mr. Hughes. Okay, item 7. We're 7.1, motion to approve recommended routine matters, consent items 7.2 through 7.10. Does anybody need these items, any items separated? No? Okay, I need a motion for Mr. Freeze, Mr. Lakoff. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 8.1 is also consent items. Does anybody need any items separated? No? Okay, a motion to approve 8.2 through 8.5.
So moved.
Mrs. Booth? Mrs. Huzzard? All in favor? Oh, any discussion? Sorry. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 9.1, Board Communication. Mrs. Crumrine.
There are no communications, Madam President.
Thank you. Item 10.1, Board Discussion. Any discussion items from the Board? Okay. Item 11.1, ratification to accept resignation. Do I need a motion or no? Yeah, okay. Motion for item 11.1. Mr. Hughes, second. Mrs. Booth. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 12.1 through 12.1, motion to approve personnel matters, which will be 12.2 through 12.9. Does anybody need an item separated? No? Okay, a motion for 12.2 through 12.9. Which means? Yeah, okay, he's making that motion. Okay, Mr. Lakoff and Mr. Kleinfelder, thank you. Any discussion? Yeah, I haven't read the whole book yet or memorized it. I read it all, but I haven't memorized it. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now these are individual items. Item 13.1, approval of the 2016-17 PSBA Legislative Policy Council delegates. Mr. Hughes? Mr. Freeze, any discussion?
This should be bigger and better than ever before. So.
The conference?
Yeah, the conference will be a big hit, I think. Expect to have a good report.
Okay. Yes, I saw that. Yes.
That's an important issue to try to get more attendance. So the way they're structuring the fees. Mm-hmm. And also the Jewish holiday, we had to move it.
Oh.
Otherwise it would have been rude, so they had to.
Okay.
But it's a good experiment. If you compact it, it's easier for folks to attend. Mm-hmm. We're hoping for a good turnout for that.
Excuse me, I did find it interesting that the delegates will be voting on Saturday, basically after everything else is completed. In the past, it's been it's been at the beginning, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Are they not going to announce some of the things that are voted? They obviously won't be announcing the results because the vote won't be until after the sessions. Delegates.
Melissa and Will are delegates?
We vote on Saturday after everything is over, as opposed to Thursday before it begins. I found that interesting. I was wondering if you might know why that's occurring. Didn't you find that interesting?
No,
I was just curious.
I think it's just, they're just mixing up the schedule because
Mm-hmm.
of the way it
Try to cut there more
Mm-hmm.
and a half out of the schedule. Was easy.
Right, I'm sure.
I thought we were speaking with all this.
No.
Delegate
Delegate,
assemblies.
voting delegate.
Yeah.
Usually the convention opens with a delegate assembly on Tuesday, and then
Right.
it closes with a general on Friday. But
Mm-hmm.
now we're going to
Wait until it's
we're
over.
actually going to close with a delegate assembly, and all, I guess the business meeting too.
Yeah, well, we're hoping that that'll make for a better experience. And we're hoping that the partners and vendors
Mm-hmm.
will better experience that.
Okay. Yeah, just curious. Thank you.
Any other discussion on 13.1? No?
I think we need to vote, though.
Yes, we do. Just wondered if there's any more discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 13.2, ratification of the appointment of law firm for general legal counsel. Mr. Kleinfelter.
Second.
Mrs. Booth. Any discussion?
Yes. Any discussion?
In the interest of time, I'll waive the speeches.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I won't give a speech, but I will say thank you for appointing us. And
Jamie's saying something over there.
we enjoy working with you and value the relationship.
Well, thank you. It's a great relationship. Thank you so much, Mr. Cadle. Okay, item 13.3, ratification of the appointment of law firm for real estate and assessment appeals. Mr. Lakoff. Mr. Kleinfelter. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 13.4, approval of policies for second reading. Mr. Kleinfelter. Mr. Lakoff. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 13.5, approval of early admission of students. Mrs. Barkis. Mrs. Huzzard. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 13.6, approval of a confidential settlement agreement and release.
So, second.
Okay, Mr. Lakoff, Mrs. Booth. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 13.7, approval of tuition agreement. Mr. Kleinfelter?
Second.
There's a second over there. Was that Mr. Hughes' second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 13.8, ratification, approval of out-of-state overnight student trips. Mrs. Barkis. Mrs. Huzzard. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 13.9, approval of conference attendance. Mrs. Barkis. Mrs. Huzzard. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 13.10, approval of community swim program for 2016-2017. Mr. Lakoff. Mr. Kleinfelter. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 13.11, authorization for employee to act as agents in signing vouchers and checks for the 2016-2017 fiscal year. Mr. Freeze? Mrs. Huzzard. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. 13.12, ratification approval of professional service and/or maintenance agreements. Mr. Lakoff.
Second.
Mrs. Booth. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Item 14.1, public comment. Information, proposals, statements, and/or questions from individuals or delegations pertaining to any item. Speakers are to indicate their name and township of residence. Speakers will be limited to not more than 3 minutes. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to talk to you tonight about...
Okay, and could you just please state your name and township? I know.
Carol Herzog, Warwick Township.
Thank you.
I'd like to talk to you about adolescence, sleep, and school start times. I hope by now you've read some of the articles I've given you and read the research, including the research from the Student Forum. Excellent. Wasn't it an excellent compilation of research and recommendations? I hope you've looked at it. It's amazing. And they had a lot of support for that. I would really love it if you agreed to have those students come and give their presentation here. And I know that they can tailor it to any amount of time. They can get it down to 15 minutes, they can do 30 minutes, they can do more than that. I've talked with someone about that, and I know that's true. So I think it would be really, really beneficial. There are new articles that come out every day about this. Sleep is all over the nation. Adults are not getting enough sleep. Students are certainly not getting enough sleep. And I get a new article every day about this, about the cleaning mechanisms of the brain and about inflammation and quality of sleep, all sorts of stuff. It's a big, hot issue. I think we really need to inform parents about this. Parents and guardians need to know this, because once they know, they will be very, very interested in it and in doing something about it. Remember that our school's motto, the focus point, is do the right thing at the right time for the right reason. And I want you to all remember that, because I think this really is the right thing, it's the right time, it's definitely the right reason. The payoff is so strong for our students. It enhances every aspect of their lives, from academic performance to athletic performance. I think we really owe it to them to give them some healthy hours to have the option to succeed. Unionville Chadds Ford is looking at this. They have formed a steering committee. They're investigating it. They have 5 different models already. They have subcommittees already. And I'd like you to know that there's a national group called Start School Later that is very, very good at compiling information and research. There's a new Chester County chapter, Start School Later Chester County, if you want. It's on Facebook. You can look it up and become a member. So let's do the right thing at the right time for the right reason. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Herzog.
Good evening, Dr. Christian, board members, Mrs. Crumline, staff, and residents. Tonight I'm here. My name is Colleen Blute. I'm a graduate of Owen J. Roberts, a North Coventry resident, and taxpayer in North Coventry and East Coventry. Tonight I'm here on behalf of the Owen J. Roberts Athletic Association, of which I'm the secretary. Michelle Mast is the treasurer, and Susan Perdue Scott is the president. Ra, a.k.a. the Owen J. Roberts Athletic Association, would like to give you an update of last year's activities. During the 2015-16 school year, Ra provided for the purchase of, or supplemented the purchase of, the following items: bodysuits for the cheerleaders to attend camp, a program logo revamp so that it looks really neat and better than anybody in the area. We purchased the small games chance license in order to have the 50-50 raffle, bingo, coach bingo, and all those fun things to help support the athletes. We renewed our food handler's license so that we could serve food in the concession stand, and you can enjoy the hot dogs and Chick-fil-A and all that good stuff. And we purchased liability insurance, and Mrs. Crumline, you know why we need that. Then we purchased 2 concession stand banners as an advertising and PR program device. If you've ever been to a football game, you know that on the scoreboard there's a horn. The horn was not being heard at quarters and halves. So we purchased another external horn that will be louder than the present one. We have allocated $25,000 for 2 scoreboards on the north and south field. We purchased warm-up shirts, for the girls volleyball team, the boys cross-country team, the girls cross-country team, and the boys soccer team. We purchased a championship jacket for Maddie Sager, and we purchased a championship jacket for Meredith Lee. We also purchased shooter shirts, which are warm-up shirts for the boys basketball team. In the fall, we purchased all the flowers, which was 114 flowers, for football, cheerleading, boys and girls soccer, field hockey, girls tennis, and the band. That was for senior parent night. We then purchased the trophies given to the football team, the cheerleaders, the boys and girls soccer, field hockey, and girls tennis at the Fall Sports Awards program. Then there was a gentleman who helped us move items from concession stand to concession stand. And one day it happened to rain, and he got extremely wet. So we said to him, how about if we purchase you a canopy and a windshield for your Toro? We purchased him the canopy and the windshield for the Toro, and your maintenance staff installed it, and I thank them for doing that. In the winter, the Owen J. Roberts Athletic Association purchased the flowers for the Winter Sports Award program, as well as the trophies. Then we had a wonderful boys and girls swimming and diving team, and they became the champions. We purchased jackets for them at a total of $2,506. Then we get into the spring. Again, the flowers for the seniors on senior night, which went to boys tennis, boys and girls lacrosse, softball, baseball, boys and girls track and field, which was a total of 74 flowers. We then purchased the trophies at the Spring Sports Award and also at the Senior Sports Award. Then we got this wonderful note about the girls lacrosse team, the girls track team, and one gentleman on the boys track and field team, and we purchased championship attire for them. The total for that was $5,948. We purchased softball warm-up shirts. We provided for the senior sports banquet. We purchased 82 senior blankets, beach towels, and key rings for the athletes. And then 2 years ago, we decided to do something even more wonderful for our senior athletes.
Excuse me, Ms. We're at 4 minutes instead of, so if you could perhaps just give us your final point.
Okay. The final point is, after we did all this, the total was $49,798.94, which was raised in the concession stand, one hot dog at a time. Tonight, we would like to present to you a membership form and invite you to our next meeting, which is Monday, August 1st, in the high school library beginning at 7 o'clock. We would also appreciate you giving up a half an hour of your time and volunteering in the concession stand for us. We thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you either at the meeting or at the concession stand and helping us out at the first football game on September 2nd, 2016. Thank you for your time.
And that's August 1st at 7 in the library.
Excuse me, could I ask you to please send that list of elements to the school board, or you have it printed on hand? Thank you. Forget my question.
Maybe somebody else could come up, do their 3 minutes, and you can come back up. And if there is no, oh, there is. Because then you can stay.
Hi, I'm Kathy DiMarino, and I live in North Coventry. Thank you so much for hearing my comments, and I'm also here to talk about the fact that teenagers are being woken up when they're in their deepest sleep every morning to cut to school on time. And I really feel like there is a multitude of research that shows that this is very detrimental to their health, their mental health, and many other aspects of their lives. And as Cheryl said, I just hope that everyone's had the opportunity to look at the research that's readily available regarding this. And the Student Forum of Chester County has done so much of it for us that we barely even have to lift a finger to see all this great information that's out there. And if we just read it, we can see clearly that the school start time of 7:30 is not healthy for teenagers, and we need to do something about that. It is my true belief that if you look at the presentation by Dr. Owens and Dr. Dalsgaard, that you will be convinced that this model that we've had in place for so many years is flawed. It's a mistake to have students starting school at 7:30, well, teenagers anyway. If anyone has other research that shows otherwise, I would certainly welcome that debate, because we do want to do what's right for our children. But I really think that the debate on this has nothing to do with whether this is the right thing to do or not, but it has to do with how convenient it would be or how difficult it would be to make a change. And we know that the American Academy of Pediatrics have made guidelines that say that school should start at 8:30 or later, so I think that we should take that to heart. And we cannot allow the challenges in making this change to be the determining factor in whether or not we do what is right for our kids. If it is the right thing to start school at 8:30, as recommended by medical professionals, we need to get the right people on this task of figuring out how it can be done. There are many schools that have done it, and we can learn from their work. I've read many articles on it, and lots of school districts find the best way to do it for their district. I do feel like a lot of stumbling blocks are there about families that don't want to change their schedules and their needs are, childcare needs are impacted, and I do think we need to be sensitive to that. But I know just from raising my own 3 kids that changes in your family schedule happen every year as children grow older, or a new kid goes to kindergarten, or an older student who might be watching a younger one wants to play a sport or needs extra help after school. We all have to make changes all the time. And so I think that if we work on this and give every family in this district the fair amount of lead time, they will make the right changes in their family and do a wonderful thing for our students. So I really feel like we need to get to work now. And you have people sitting here, and also many that I talk to, who are willing to do whatever needs to be done. We will be on a committee, we'll volunteer our time, and we will research how we can make this happen for Owen J. Roberts. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mrs. DiMarino.
All right, hi, I'm back again. I'm Colleen. I'm Owen J. graduate, North Coventry resident, taxpayer in North Coventry and East Coventry. But tonight I'm here representing the Pottstown 4th of July Committee, of which I am the organizer for the July 4th Homecoming Queens. As you're aware, there was no parade or fireworks. However, we did organize and celebrate with a parade during the first Saturday Classic Car Show in Pottstown on July 2nd. I'd like to thank the Owen J. Roberts School District and Chandler Colici for helping to collectively raise $3,095. The money that Chandler raised and the money that the other girls raised will be put in next year's fund in their school name. So the 4th of July committee got all that done, and then we decided, okay, we've got to start raising some money. So our first event is this coming Wednesday. It is a mini golf outing. You don't have to write it down because it's in your envelope. It is a miniature golf outing at the Manatoni Green on West High Street. They're going to have the 4th of July homecoming queen from Pottstown, Mardesia there, and the kids can dress up as princesses and have a good time. After that, we've scheduled a spirit night, a spirit week at Chick-fil-A, which will be the last one that Chick-fil-A will be holding, in which you have in your little envelope a coupon. You can take that coupon at breakfast, lunch, or dinner, eat in or take out, and a portion of your meal cost will go towards the 4th of July. So you can go in, grab it, and go, and it's really easy in, easy out access on 422. After that, in September, we've scheduled on Wednesday, September 21st, a Friendlies Family Night, where you can come to the Friendlies on Shoemaker Road between the hours of 4 and 9, eat in, take out, and again, the proceeds from that will go to the 4th of July. We are extremely excited about bringing those fireworks and the parade back. And then closing the year 2016, beginning October 1st and ending December 31st, we will be having a hoagie fundraiser at the Ice House Deli. And for those of you who don't know where the Ice House Deli is, it's located on the corner of King and Manatoni Street. The vouchers are being printed. They will cost $7. You take the voucher into Ice House. You can sit and eat dinner, or you can take it home. But it cannot be delivered, and it cannot be used on a roast beef hoagie, which, by the way, is the best hoagie. So all the profits from that will go towards the 4th of July. On behalf of myself and co-chairs Marshall Levengood and William Chipsmale, we thank you for your continued support of the 4th of July activities in Pottstown, Pennsylvania.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Blute. Seeing no other public comment, item 15.1, board requests for information. Any requests from board members?
Yes.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but
You're wrong.
We received a grant for busing for Jumpstart. Correct? Didn't we receive something that we got busing for?
No, Mrs. White applied for the grant. It wasn't for Jumpstart. We did receive additional funds. It wasn't for Jumpstart. I'll get clarification, Mrs. Barkas. We got additional monies.
Somewhere.
Yes.
Okay, so that's where thank you for the correction. What I wanted to see is if it was possible to look at our numbers this year and our numbers previously without busing, just to look at the comparison determining if busing is a reason why students aren't partaking in that opportunity.
It was actually for a similar program through Warwick Child Care. That was the grant we received. And then Dr. Soder budgeted within her budget the busing for Jumpstart.
Okay.
So it was two different programs, same intent.
Okay. Still.
But I understand what you're asking.
We have busing
Right.
this year. I want to see if the numbers are greater.
Understood. It
Thank
just
you.
came to me at the last second.
Any other board requests for information?
I don't have a
Counselor?
request. I just want to communicate to the rest of the board to spread the word that RA does need some assistance this coming year. Right now, the board of RA is primarily filled with people who do not have kids in the school district right now. Had kids in the school district. Their dedication to O&J is phenomenal. But we need to start getting younger families involved in these organizations that benefit anybody. You know, they're not just football. They're not just, they go out and where there's a need, they take care of it. So I think we as a group need to communicate and try and build these younger families to come out and volunteer and get involved because we need their input. But the group that's running it right now, they're an interim group. They've done a great job in the past, and they're doing a great job right now. But we do need to, and I know Dr. Christian and I have been discussing this, and they're working on it. But as we as a board, I think we need to really spread the word.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, item 16.1, adjournment. Okay, and having studied Robert's rules, we don't need a motion or a second, so the meeting is adjourned.